Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Naval Dreadnoughts and to the Greek campaign, where we finally have sorted out things with the Japanese, which is pretty much a white piece, but they're just going to pay us some money. Wow, we actually sunk most of their fleet. Okay. We continue to attack the Turks. I'm doing a double invasion here, both of which are going to go through, I think. We'll then nip round, grab the stuff that they've got in the Persian Gulf, and then we'll head back and deal with the tricky situation that is taking Constantinople and northern Turkey, and hopefully restoring the borders of the old Byzantine Empire. Yeah, this will remove the threat of the Turks, which are our kind of most existential threat. We also still need to deal with the war with China and the war with Chile. Chile we can deal with any time I can send ships all the way over to Easter Island to get rid of them. I would have thought that someone else would do that from the many people they are at war with, but apparently not. Presumably will have to be me. Longer term, I mean, China's annoying again because there's no real reason for me to go over to China to do anything about it. I guess I can just wait for them to do something stupid like sending their fleet over to try and get me. We are probably the biggest power they are currently at war with, which is crazy. Economy-wise, how we do? Politics-wise, how we doing? Yeah, nobody serious going to come and get us anytime soon. And then yeah, economy at 20. I mean, it's not that good. It's not terrible, but we've been at war for quite a while now, or at least it feels like quite a while. Yeah, we're still behind Italy. I mean, technically we're behind China as well. China has has issues though. Anyway, that's the plan for this episode. Finish off the Turks. Wow. Okay, never mind. The army has taken Constantinople, and I realised after checking the arrows, the Turks were relying on Japanese troops to hold us back. We don't have any allies currently. And now neither do they, so it's just straight us versus them. And our army logi is 100, and theirs is not. Theirs is 2. So yeah, we are absolutely steamrollering them, which is kind of crazy. Although not in northern Turkey, because it's severely outnumbered. But yeah, we hold Constantinople. Wow, that's crazy. That is a major port. You can go into Lebanon. You can resume. Wow. Okay. Wait, do I have an I do. I've got a destroyer without a name. I will fix that in a minute. The fleet, meanwhile, is going to head around to Doha to take that. And then we'll move on to Iraq and Kuwait. And then I guess we can just sail through the Bosphorus and attack northern Turkey. And then we'll have a fleet on the Black Sea, which is insane to think about. And it also gives me a major port. It's way bigger than Piraeus, the port at Constantinople. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, okay. Nice. Very nice. Okay, well, unexpected, but very welcome. Alright, welcome back. The Velos is finished. She's starting to commission up, which is fantastic. The fleet has arrived in the Persian Gulf to begin operations there. We should keep building camping ships, which is just keep on rolling because I have some yet more hulls, I believe. So we've had our battlecruiser 1. The next one, obvious one, would be to do the battlecruiser 2. And this would complete our series of ships, I think. Because the Dreadnought 3, which I do want to build on, is going to be a very different beast. But that would give us not a real class of 4, but effectively a class of 4. Oh, the Velos had standard bulkheads. Okay, cool. How fast is Velos? 2026, right? And let's go for 23,000 tons. That's totally minimum, but that's fine. I think we can make this. I think we can make this ship work. Again, we're going to stick with our 12-inch guns. 12-inch guns are starting to get a little bit out of date, but I think there is a good reason to stick with them for now. They got a nice high rate of fire, and most importantly, I think for the Greeks, they are cheaper, they are lighter, and we're already, you know, they're in service. We already have them. Oh, that's a problem. I'm not allowed to put... I can put the tower on there, weirdly. Although that one kind of fits, but kind of also doesn't. That one does fit. Oh. Okay, I've got two options. I could use triples, or I can make the ship longer. Triples... yeah, really bad. Well, not really bad compared to twins, I guess. Could go triples. I could make the ship longer. Let's try making the ship longer. Let's trim the beam and lengthen the ship and see if I get more room. I don't. In fact, that just makes everything worse. So let's undo that change. I love it when you lengthen the ship and it doesn't lengthen the bits you want to lengthen. That means triples it is. I guess we're going to experiment a bit. But yeah, that, I guess, is a relatively efficient way of putting the ship together. I guess we get an extra gun. I think we're going to stick with the 6-inch Mark III. I don't have 7-inch Mark III yet, do I? Nope. Which, weirdly, are going to be twins, but yeah. We'll just put them in the cutouts. I think it makes sense just to leave them in the cutouts. I'm not going to try and add in another set. So weirdly, this is almost a step back from the Velos in some ways. We're going to get forced boilers, petrol, better steering. All the most modern stuff we have available. The slightly safer Cordite 2. We might potentially be able to go faster. Let's go for the same armor. So that's 14, 16, 3s, 1.5, 0.3. Yes. 2, 3, 2, 14, 5. Mind you, if I lengthen the 6-inch guns to 56, I think I can up the armor, right? There we go. Good. And then I actually have a little bit of displacement remaining. This one has maximum bulkheads. So I guess this one is a little bit more concerned with internal protection. Okay. Also, the engine efficiency is better. What do I want? More speed. Why don't we try more speed? 27? 28? 28. Yeah. Just a continual evolution. Oh, I didn't put casemates on. There you go. They also need to be 56. 6.5. Okay, now I can't afford the speed. Okay, maybe leave it at 26 then. So at least it's the same speed as the other one. Yeah, just refining the ship slowly. Oh, there you go. Can have some signaling guns on the ship. Although realistically they would be more likely to be anti-aircraft guns than anything. There we go. I don't think they'll do very much, but they're there. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, effectively, it's now the docks is now a class of 4. But yeah, why not? Why not? Where are we going to put it? I think I still build out of prowess. Oh, I didn't actually get a screenshot. What a silly Billy! Forgetting about that. Yeah. So it gives us essentially the Greek Navy has 4 Generation 1 dreadnoughts and Generation 2. Just a slow evolution from one design to the next. Kind of constant noodling of designs. I'm not happy with that front tower. I hope on a refit I'm going to be able to get some superior ones. But yeah, you can kind of see the evolution from the original Doxer, which is just under 19,000 tons, through to the Georgios, and then the Velos, and then the Atos. A distinct design lineage. Once this is finished, we can look into our first super dreadnought, I think. But that will be in 17 months. Okay, cool. Velos, actually, once she's commissioned, she could head up into the Black Sea and start trying to get some port strikes going before the main fleet arrives. That would actually be really helpful. Well, well, well. Credit goes to the army for finishing off northern Turkey. They managed it before I was able to... I mean, I had deployed the fleet and I was about to start doing a naval invasion. I was trying to knock down the ports a little bit, but apparently that naval gunfire support enabled the army to break through, and Turkey is gone. They are dissolved forever. Well, that is a big old plus. Look at that. Cool. I've relocated a cruiser from Rhodes to Basra, so I have a little bit of presence over here. We also have a cruiser over in Funchal, but we'll keep the main fleet in the Eastern Mediterranean, Black Sea part of the world. And I think the Soviets are probably going to be our biggest problem. Well, actually, they love us. But they're at war with Britain and France, who we get on with quite well. So I think a war with the Soviets probably will happen at some point. It'd be nice to cancel some of these two nonsense wars, though. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send... I would have to send... What do the Chinese have in terms of a fleet? They have a large enough fleet that I need to keep everything together if I go and attack them. So I'm going to go destroy Chile. And then we'll head to China. We'll go on a little adventure. It's going to take a bajillion years to get there. But that is the plan. I'm going to finish the construction of these two ships. One in Heraclea, and one in Samsunta. And that will, again, mean that we have at least one destroyer in every port, which is super important. And then the fleet is going to go on a jolly down to Easter Island to eliminate the Chileans. And then we'll go on another jolly over to China, which probably means as soon as I do that, I'm going to end up at war with somebody in Europe, which would be very annoying. But we don't have any alliances currently. I think from here on out, we're probably better not... The only people I'm interested in allying with are the British, because they control Suez, because they control Gibraltar. We must maintain good relations with the British. Everyone else can... I don't really care. Right. We have taken Easter Island. A glorious victory. That should mean that Chile will dissolve next turn, which is lovely. And then the fleet can continue its round-the-world trip by heading over to... I think there's a Chinese fleet behind the Swedish one. Let's go and help out the Swedes deal with whatever fleet that is. I just want China to stop. Oh no, the Soviets are attacking Korea. That's not great. Also, the French and the Soviets are at war. The French took what is the modern-day Czech Republic off the Soviets. What else? Who's Britain at war with? Sorry for not... I'm not trying to keep up with it. It's so chaotic. Portugal, the Netherlands, Brazil, and Chile. Okay, so... not a lot. They are not happy with the Soviets. Although they seem to patch things up with the Americans, the French have not, and are at war with them. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're going to continue our round-the-world cruise and go attack the Chinese. How is the new ship getting... Oh, it's commissioning. Ooh, okie dokie. Well, in that case, we should start building the next ship. Probably a one-off. I would imagine. So we've got the Dreadnought 3 here. So this, I think, is going to be a super Dreadnought. I'm not quite sure how big I want to make this thing right off the bat. Or how fast. We'll just kind of build it as we go. Max design speed is 22 knots. That's a little slow compared to our other ships. So I'm going to reduce the beam, but not the draft. We're going to keep the draft as is. I definitely don't want it to be slower than the Doxa. Go with an... Oh, we've got semi-oil. Oh, that's helpful. What can we push the speed to? 22, 23. 28 is the absolute maximum. But given our other ships, I think 26 makes more sense. In terms of size, given that the ATOS is 23, I think we should definitely be looking at 25 plus. I would rather not use triple turrets, but I might end up having to. One funnel would actually be enough. That's interesting. I might go for 2 funnels just for aesthetic purposes. It will also give me, yeah, I prefer the 2 funnel design. Right. Now, if this is going to be a super dreadnought, what do we got? 15-inch for sure. Let's go with a 15-inch main gun. Again, looking at the layout, am I going to end up with going for triples here? Because where does this turret need to go? There. And this space is not really... Yeah, we're going to go triples. We're going to go ABX triple 15. These ships are not going to perform as well as we would like straight off the bat. And I'm going to need to invest in the turret mechanism tech so that we can get some better turret tech. Actually, do I want to do it like that? I don't think I do, actually. What I want to do is maybe use this space for some form of secondary arrangement. But yeah, whilst I could, in theory, fit a twin turret up here, because it kind of does... If this just cut off here, I could easily fit a twin turret in here on a barbette. But because of the way it is, I can't... It doesn't lengthen at all, this ship. It does... Because I would rather avoid the triples. What, 26. Okay, because if I was able to get it bigger, that is now big enough space for a twin. Oh, thank goodness. I did not want to use triples. It's still too early to be trying to use that. It does mean making the ship significantly bigger in order to do this, but I think worth it. They do fire, right? Yep, they do. Lovely. Okay. Casemate guns. We could fit it with 7s, but I think a 6 is more sensible, just like the Canary says. Yeah, that's not worth it. Could fit some 3-inch guns, apparently. Really? Yeah, I didn't think those worked. Yeah, I could fit like 2 3-inch guns aside. I don't think that's worth it. What about 2 inches? Again, that doesn't feel worth it, but I think they look... Oh, they work. They look a bit more... They look a bit more sensible. Again, signalling guns, light anti-aircraft weapons, something like that. Okay. Standard crew. We don't need all that fuel. Range is vastly improved because of using semi-oil. Citadel 3, that's a new tech for us. Mod cons. No, I think we'll stick with Constance for now. And then we do have a fair amount of weight left for armour. That's good. So the 6 inches will go to the 56. 2 inch we can get to 50. 15 inch 35s. I think we're going to have to stick with 35s for now. Armour. I would like this to be a little bit more heavy there. I'm also going to need heavier deck armour. 3 and 0.5. We'll remember to put tower armour on this thing. Inner belt of 4 and a second inner belt of 3. Inner deck of a half. Let's go 6 on the casemate. Okay. Now, main gun armor. I'd love a 16-inch belt. That is too heavy. And I would love to have 18 inches on the turrets. Again, this is not going to be possible, but sometimes it's a good idea to build the ship you want and then cut back to what you can actually get away with. And looking at this thing, this is very similar to a Queen Elizabeth class battleship by the looks of it. Now, those were a little bit slower than this. I think they were 23 knots off the top of my head. No, 24. They were slightly faster. Carrying the same guns. I don't know what length those guns were. The BL 15-inch Mark 1 naval gun. They were L42, so we got stubbier guns than the Queen Elizabeth, and they only had a 13-inch belt. Okay. Same deck armor as us though. It's 13-inch. Yeah, that's quite light. I could maybe see the case for a 14 and then 16 on the turrets. Gets me to within 10%. I could just make the ship bigger. It's not going to give me a lot, but we could push to 27,500, say. I could lose a bit of speed. Could go down to 24 knots, but I'm not really getting much for that. It is 2%, but come on. I really want the 4-inch though. Extended. Do you know what? We could trim that. We could trim this to 3. We can trim this to 16. We could trim this because the layers are not going to be crazy. We do have that inner one. Maybe trim that down. Still 4% that we need to lose. Trim this. Brother Monroe's war against barbette armour begins. This is something we can fix later. If we go for just a 4-inch, that is an inner barbette protection, to be clear. That is not the armour on the barbette. That is like the inner, like the superimposed barbette. It's like the inner armour down here behind the main armour. The other option would have been going down to mini bulkheads, but I like this thing. So very similar to a Queen Elizabeth class. The main belt is slightly thicker. They are slightly faster, but they don't have guns that are quite as long range and powerful. These are shorter barrels by a significant amount, actually. A 35 versus a 42. If I did try and... Can I even make these guns 42 caliber? Nope. You can see it adds a lot of weight. Maybe when we get the Mark III 15-inch, we can do that. But right now, that's not doable for us. But that is a mighty fine ship for... When are we building this? 1913, are we in? Feels like 1913. So these would be contemporary with the Queen Elizabeth class. Yes. I like them. I like them a lot. What are they called? The Lemnos. Sure. Once again, though, I have a suspicion that I am not going to be able to... Oh, 1912! Hot damn. I'm probably going to end up building this thing in parallel. I am going to start building in Constantinople, though. Yeah, they take 21 months. In 21 months, I probably will have the next hull, or not, actually. Dreadnought 4 is a fair ways off. But I might have another battlecruiser by then, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But the priority needs to go down here. Not so much for the triple turrets, which are now no longer a pressing issue, although they might be with the other hulls. This is more so that I can get double turrets on light cruisers, which I think is about 1914 that you unlock that normally. So, yeah, let's get that done. And then, yeah, let's head over to China and finish off that war as well. Well, the Chinese are going to make it interesting. The fleet is traversing the Pacific, so goodness knows if we're going to have any fuel for this. They have a battleship, the Dekai, pre-dreadnought by the looks of it. They have a bunch of armoured cruisers with 9.3-inch guns, 3 triples, which is quite nice. Quite a nice little setup, and then some light cruisers and some torpedo boats. We have 3 of the docks line and the Canaris. Let's go. I will attempt to get them together. I know all the ships go at a different speed, but what I've been discovering in this series, always learning stuff, is if I have the fastest ship at the front and the slowest ship at the back, the ship at the front will slow down and the ones at the back won't run into them. So let's try and get this set up. So the fastest ship is Velos. Oh, we're all on low fuel, are we? Well, most of you are. Shit. What speed can you actually make? 17. What speed can you actually make? 23. You can only make 12. You can only make 12. So actually, Vasilev's is going to be at the front. And Velos is going to be behind. And then Doxa. And then Canaris. And then these guys who are also on low fuel will follow behind with the torpedoes off. These guys are due an upgrade as well. We do now have the Mark III 7-inch gun, which is pretty crazy. Right, let's have a look at the Chinese. Wow, that's not even a pre-dreadnought. That's just ancient rubbish. Let's have a look at their cruisers, which I thought looked all right. Oh yeah, I like the cruiser. Reminiscent of those Portuguese ships we fought. Mark II 9s, Mark II 7s as well. A couple of them. Not bad. Short-range torpedoes. The armour quality is a bit naff. 21 knots. That's actually a solid. Like, I'd say in early 1900s, maybe about 5 years out of date. But certainly not bad. My problem is going to be if I get swarmed. Secondary guns are going to have to do work here. 6-inch kit. Of course, I'm going to have to wait for my ships to organise themselves. But we are slaughtering the torpedo boats at extreme range, which is good stuff. Danyang also taking a massive hit. Yeah, these cruisers are not overly threatening. Not with a sub 2 kilometer torpedo anyway. Oh man. Yeah, that is quite brutal. 12-inch guns are quite savage against cruisers, actually. Danyang sinks. That one's going as well. Canaris having trouble taking up her position. Look how small she is compared to the others in the line now. There's the Velos, who's the nearest ship. Yeah, she does have a trained crew, but not the veteran crew of the other ships. Having not seen combat before. So not expecting to have to go all the way over to China to get some battle experience, but sure, why not do a round the world tour? This is like a coconut shy. It's not even remotely fair. Small ship abuse confirmed. I mean, they're trying to get into torpedo range. Bless them. But, my goodness, nearly a third of the crew dead already. Don't think they're going to get their torpedoes off. They might. Not surprisingly close. No, I think they are out of it now. Definitely out of it now. Oh, yikes. These things only have 800 meter torpedoes. They are not a serious threat. 6-inch guns, rapidly disassembling them. Speed up a bit. Get through the... Oi. That is rude. Why did they... Yeah, I always like... Oh, I'm going to attack your rearmost ship. So mean. I'm going to have to do a turn, which is going to take literally forever. Wait until we're on the other tack, and then we'll go back to a more sensible time acceleration. There we go. Okay. I think that ends their screen. Although they used to have some light cruisers hiding it back. Switch up to armor piercing on the secondaries, please. Eights have been doing work. That's good to see. Obviously, the bridge getting destroyed on the Georgios, as it always does. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. What kind of powder were you using? Increased heavy white powder picric acid. Yes. Not the wisest of choices. Float somehow. Not for long, I suspect. Killed by a shot from the Doxer. Right. Those, I think, fairly decent armoured cruisers are really going to struggle, though. That compound armour is not going to hold up well. It's a shame, because the rest of the design is actually pretty good. They're coming in really aggressively. I love that. Almost like torpedo boats, but my goodness me, they do not have the staying power. I love that aggression, though. Can't fault for them for that. Fighting as hard as they can. Another 3 coming in on a charge. Oh my words. I thought he was maybe... Oh, he did get a torpedo off. Fair play. They are on torpedo avoid. So it's up to Canaris' crew. Brave stuff. That light cruiser got obliterated though. I don't think the Gansu is going to get a torpedo off. Canaris, hard a port. Oh, did get a bit of flooding forward. There is another one coming in. Getting so close. Basically point blank range. Oh! Yep. Sank before they were able to get the torpedo off. Lot of flooding on the Chaoyong. There goes Chinese cruiser attack. Brave. Might even say foolhardy, but certainly brave. Leaving just one already pretty badly damaged armoured cruiser. We will collect survivors. But yeah, that ship is not going to last very long. Here we go. Right, that should end the war with China. Thank you for doing that, because now I don't have to sit around with my ships off your ports for ages. Yes, we agree. What is this? Oh, they're just moving around. I should not need the victory points now. So I'm just going to order the ships home. They've literally done a round the world around the world tour. Oh, that is so silly. And then, yeah, let's move Atos up to Constantinople as well. We'll get a little proper little fleet together now, which is very exciting. I think China should peace out next turn. But I'll come back with the peace treaty. Okay, peace. Finally, with everybody. No more wars. No, I don't want Mongolia or your rubbish ships. Just give me more money. Oof, because I have been spending it. I really have. No, buy Norway. Oh, that's another player out. Yeah, because the Germans have taken southern Norway and the Soviets have taken northern Norway. Oh, I'd be very worried if I was Sweden. Oh my. Anyway, it'll help the game speed up, eliminating players. Portugal is likely next because France has captured Portugal itself. We've captured the islands. Germany has captured the African colonies, which means it is probably, yep, just East Timor that remains. Okay. Wow, we're going to have to swap to peacetime funding in a minute. We can reduce this in anticipation. It's going to be very expensive. I'm going to switch all ships. I know some of them are at sea. Oh, those are still suspended. Resume, resume. Oh, and I need one for Easter Island. Build. Easter Island. Cool. Oh, my word. Yeah, low fuel. It'll take a while to get back. It's also going to be quite expensive to recover them. But I'll do all that off camera in between this episode and the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.